Hi, hi. Welcome to the House of Chair Girls Live Show. Your girl Soso Babes and I is here for you. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, everyone. Doing my normal check-in. I need to sign up on Facebook and share the video real quick then I introduce the show.
Hope you're all doing great. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Where is the show? Where is it? Just sharing on Facebook right now. Okay, got it. Public. Hello, everyone. Hi, thanks for joining. Right. So,
Thank you for joining. Yes, I just shared. Did you succeed in sharing?
yes, in a little bit.
Okay. Thank you all for joining. Happy Sunday. And again, pump up hearts. Let us know where you're watching us from if you love. If you don't mind sharing, and just add that in comments so we can check it out.
Yep. I'll be done in 30 seconds or so. Did you put that? House of Chair. House of Chair. Perfect. One second. List. Good. So, refresh. So, thank you for joining. Today we have a very, very interesting topic. One of my things I like to talk about. I like to talk about regular things about life, the different struggle, the different questions that we ask ourselves every day. And we're driving towards the chocolate month, February, Valentine's Day. So we'll start bringing up these different topics, relationships. We'll talk about different things about relationships. We'll talk about love, dating scene, and every other aspect that we can talk about. But today we'll be talking about a particular topic. We'll be talking about age gap in relationships. Like, is it a factor? And this means different things to different people. So we are not coming here to give an answer. We're just giving our perspective of what we think, and also based on what maybe some life experiences that we've been through and some stories that we've heard. These are always the kinds of things that we talk about. We draw our perspectives from these different scenarios, and we hope to have fun and ask as many questions as you can. Tell us about your story. Are you dating somebody? Are you in a relationship with somebody that is older, or are you the older person in the relationship? But guess what? It doesn't really matter. It's your choice. So let's ride on.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ice, for introducing the show. Again, it's the kind of talk you love and you're passionate about. So we are looking forward to getting some very good nuggets from you today. So again, thanks again, everyone. I see we have 7 people watching. That's an amazing number, 8 even at this time of the show. And we just want to talk about gaps in relationship, as I said, right? Most of the time we find ourselves, and the way we want to look at this, we want to look at it from based on our background, like growing up, like in the earlier years, what we've seen growing up all till date, how things have evolved. Things evolving doesn't necessarily mean that some particular trends are no longer taking place. It just means that it has become a little bit more common. So the way we want to look at this is we want to look at it from growing up, watching us when we're kids, right? We saw that it was common for, or maybe not even when we're kids, but as we've heard older people tell us, it was common for man to be older than a woman, right? Ice, you want to jump right deep into that, like the initial, should I call it the initial most common situation?
Yeah, the status quo at the time, maybe in the 80s, you found first of all, most relationships were arranged. So it was, I'm not sure, but based on books and stories I've heard from parents and friends and older people, most of these marriages were arranged marriages where a man will come, hey, I found somebody in your family that I want to get married to, and they get married to
No, they never call it somebody eyes. Say the right word.
our that word, so that's why I didn't use it. That was very intentional. So it was
Did you just say you hate that word flower when they come and say they found a flower, you don't like it?
like it, I don't know. So that was that was the status quo when people, and we had older men who had maybe accomplished something, finished school, their businesses were running, and they feel like, hey, I want to settle down. And they'll go find these young girls around, maybe in the villages or different communities, and meet their parents and say, hey, I'm interested. And most of the time, I don't feel like they even spoke to these girls. These girls met them only after they had taken permission. These men had taken permission from their parents. So that was the scenario. We had older men getting married to younger women. But is that the case today? No, but I still know of couples who got married in the 80s or the 70s who are like age mates. I've seen some couples like that. And truth is, most of them they always meet like in school. Maybe they were in school together in those different settings. So that's just my perspective. I feel like the trend is changing, and people are getting comfortable with the different choices that they are making now. They don't, that societal choice for you. You have to get married to somebody who is 5 years, 3 years, 10 years, 50. Who cares?
Yeah. Hey, and shout out, we just got some stars. So if you're watching the show from Solange Chair Facebook page, then you're able to send stars. Thank you so much, Sandine. We thank you for the stars. We appreciate you. Just sent us 310 stars. Thank you so much. Yeah. And again, I see we have more people watching. Thank you for joining us on the show. I see likes. I love to see those red hearts. So if you're watching, please hit those red hearts. I love to see some of them come up. Thank you. And just as Ice said, just reconnecting with what Ice was talking about, the fact that before it was men who went to look for their wives, like most commonly they will go back to the village or to their home cities, and their parents would be like, hey, there is this child in this family, there's this girl in this family that will love for you too. So they'll do all of that, right? That's why in most cases, it was common to see that the men were older than the women, right? They went and they got married to younger girls. As time has gone on, we have seen that people are now getting married to their age mates. Just as you said, people are going to school, classmates get out of school, they get married. It is more common to find people of the same age get married. And just as time is changing again, it is now common to even see an older woman get married to a younger man, right? Those are things that even till date, to still find some people when they hear it or they see it, they like raise eyebrows and they're like, oh, is that even okay? Like people still have the attachment, or let me call it sentimental attachment, to the fact that the man is supposed to be older. There's still a lot of people today. I have seen that on comments on people's on different social media platforms. There's still a lot of people today who think or who feel that the man needs to be older than the woman. Right. But again, what do you think? What is your perspective on that? Do you have a preference? And let's say you are a young woman in a relationship. Do you prefer to date someone that is older than you? Do you prefer to date someone that is your age mate? Or do you prefer to date someone that you're older than, right? So it all depends on how you look at life. If you don't mind sharing, let's know your perspective on that. Yes, Ice.
Yeah, those are tough questions that you're just asking people to answer, because I know that you mentioned that you've seen comments on social media. I've heard comments in like different settings, that my interpersonal relationships with people in some family settings, extended family, and you hear people saying, oh, this one even got married to a younger man. So it comes out with this smooth, like it's not something good.
It's not okay.
Not okay. So that you can feel it in the sentences when they say it, or it's because, which I know there are certain advantages and disadvantages when you get married to people that are either younger or people that are either older than you are, but it's those disadvantages are to the person in that situation, because they'll feel like, as we were talking earlier, why do you think girls want to get married to men who are older?
Who are older.
Yeah, why do you think girls want to get married to men who are older?
I think that that's something that people can have a perspective on, right? You can have an opinion on. It doesn't necessarily need to be you, but if you're watching us and you think maybe you've known somebody or you've heard of somebody, why do you think that a girl like me, I'm 38, why do you think I'll prefer to get married to a man that is like 45? Right? What's your perspective? Why do you think that some girls prefer older men? So if you can think of anything, please add it in the comments. But yes, Ice, maybe we should take it this way. Okay, and I'm not putting you on the spot, right? But again, just to know, it could be a range. It doesn't be. So what do you have a preference? Like, do you have an age range of the kind of person you want to date? Do you have an age range? Let me call it that way.
Oh, are you putting me on the spot right now?
It's just a question.
I don't have an age range, but I don't know, this is kind of double standard, but I have age that I will not get married to.
Oh, but that's okay too.
Yeah, so I don't really have a range, because I feel like there are some things that I like in older. I feel like I like in a relationship with an older person, and there are some things that I could enjoy with a relationship with a younger person. Now, why would you like in somebody, like, why will I think that getting married to an older person is better? Normally, this, I can be wrong. We assume that most older men are already seasoned men. There are some things that's an assumption out there. There are some things that you don't need to struggle with because they already know. So, but which is not always true, right? It's not always true, because all relationships are unique. Some men will get into relationships and they'll be like, oh, they act as this seasoned men, and they'll just pick up, they'll do things, you work fine. Some other relationships, they're gonna slack, like, hey, I'll let you do this. So, and with younger relationships, you feel like, oh, maybe I want to get married to somebody that is a little bit around my age group, so that we can do the things that I like, that we can have fun, we can stay out at night, we can watch movies together. Because there is this funny story that Gabrielle Union said that now, because she's like 9 years older than her husband, each time they want to watch a movie, she just falls asleep. She doesn't know if it's the age gap or something. So those little things. Then what about your sexual life when it comes to age? Is it the same? I don't know, because I've not married either younger or older. No, I can't tell. But those that are in those situations, tell us your experiences and let's see.
Yeah, and that's right. Because again, circling back to the whole question, like, hey, why will some girls prefer older men? And as you explained, some people are going for maturity. That some people will believe that the older they are, the more mature they are, right? You find a girl saying that, oh, you know what, I want to be with a man that will treat me like my father. They'll tell you that I want to be with a man that is mature enough to take care of them, of like their daughters. There are some girls who really care about that. But at the same time, there are some girls who look at this age gap and say, hey, you know what? The older the guy is, the more he's gonna think like he has control over me. He's gonna want to be like he's my dad. Some girls like the fact that the guy is treating them like their dad. Some hate it. So as you say, every relationship is unique, right? Every relationship is unique based on the people that are in that relationship. And when it comes to the younger people, again, before I even go to the younger people, let's look a little bit around the sexual life of everything. Some girls will be worried, like, again, if I were to get married to an older man, I bet you that the question of, hey, biologically it's been written and said that men can be sexually active till certain, like, a really high age, right? Unfortunately I don't know the numbers.
You're 60.
But in their 60s. But at the same time, if you're a young girl, depending on the gap, right? We've seen people who have gotten married to people whose age gaps are like 15, 19. I've even seen a 20. You get it? With that kind of an age gap, another person will be worried and will say, hey, you know what? If I get married to a man that has that kind of age gap, like a 15-year age gap, will I be able to live up to? The first thing is where they are now, can they satisfy me sexually? We all know that the biological clock plays its role, right? Through this, there are things that will help the man rejuvenate their sexual whatever. But at the same time, as time goes on, are they able to keep up? So when I get older, will this man still be able to satisfy me sexually as he's getting? Also, those kinds of things matter to some people. To others, it doesn't really matter. So that's why some people will really want to take into consideration that age. To some people, it's just a number. And going back to the maturity thing, age does not necessarily mean maturity. There are some 40-year-old men out there with the brain of a baby or the brain of a 20-year-old, right? Because they are 40 does not necessarily mean they're going to treat you better or that they are going to take better care of you or anything. That age thing we call is just a number. Personally, that's how I look at it, right? So yes, Ice, I think I removed something from your mouth.
Yeah, I just want to add to the fact that when you talk about the sexual drive, I read an article, and I've heard a lot of people say this. I don't feel like that age could really affect that if the research that or what people are saying out there in these streets are right. It's right because most women, they get really sexually active at their 40s.
That's when they are close to hitting menopause, right?
They're very so which means there's still a spot in which they can meet this older, they can still meet there in that middle ground and say, hey, maybe you're in your 60s, maybe I'm in my 40s, and now we are in the height of everything. And
Do men have menopause?
I don't know. Maybe
Okay, I should have researched that. Anybody watching, do men have menopause? I'm sorry, I don't know, sincerely. I'm just concerned about mine. I've never thought of thinking about a man's own. But if you know, please help us put it in the comments. This is also an educative show, right? We get to learn new things. If you know about that, please add in the comments for us.
yeah, please don't forget to share, like on the video, and send us your comments, your thoughts.
I want to hear somebody say something. We got 10
Yeah.
people watching. I want to hear somebody say something.
Are you in a relationship with a younger person, an older person, your age group? Or I want to talk about your age group, that 5 years. I think 5 years.
5 is age group, Ice?
Maybe I'm going traditionally or culturally.
I think 3. I'll call 3. I'll call 3 the
Yeah.
age group, like
Yeah.
30, 33. Yes. And then 33, 30. Yeah. I'll call 3 an age group. 5 is a little bit out of age group.
So,
Right?
so these different questions. Do you have more older people reaching out to you or younger people reaching out to you? Because these days, no man is scared. A man likes you, younger or older, they walk up to you and they tell you what they want in different or very funny ways. And I think our next topic is going to be like talking about the dating scene right now out here. And so where do we go from here?
Yeah. So again, if we are talking about how the group of people, like I did ask Ice that question, like, hey, do you have an age range of the kind of people of, let's say, the people you want to get married to or the people you want to date or something? Personally, I do not. Anyway, let me not say I do not. There's been a lot of mentality shifts as the world is evolving. I wouldn't lie. If you asked me 4 years ago, I would tell you straight up that I don't want to have anything to do with anybody that is younger than me. I don't care if it's 1 year or 2 years. I don't care. But again, within the past 4 years, I've been a little bit more open-minded, and I'm like, those 2 years, 3, 4 years, they're not that bad. Okay. So it's just, I think that's why I say it's a little bit personal. It depends on you as a person. But when I have talked about, like, every girl has a fantasy, right? Every girl sits and fantasizes about, hey, my prince in shining, is it prince in shining armor? If that's how it's called, or there is a word, something, your dream man, things like that. I personally have always looked forward to older people because I feel like, hey, I still have that belief that an older man will be It fails sometimes, but I bet you that I'm one of the people who believes that the older they are, the probability that they might be a little bit more mature will be beneficial. So I see SB Defend Naturals in Sweden says my husband is 4 years older than me, which means that you're in the same age group, right? Yeah, according to ISIS philosophy, you're in the same age group. So you people you probably grew up together. You people think alike. You probably don't struggle with with certain things because you grew up together. Hey, Michaeline, nice to see you, girl. Thanks for
Yeah,
joining.
I
Hey, go, Michael White. Yes, and Michaeline says age is just a number, which is true. Yes, age is just a number. It's not anything. That's today. That's how I look at life. But about 4 years ago, I looked at it to be like, yes, age might just be a number, but I don't want to go younger. As well as there is a certain when it goes to the higher numbers, I don't want to go above something. Of course, I don't want to be a caretaker or caregiver, right?
Mhm.
I want to be a wife. So yes, thanks you. Thank you all for joining. I see the hearts. Thanks again, Michaelie. Nice to see you. It's been ages.
Yeah. And just to add, there is another trend that is out here, and I like TikTok because I learn a lot from TikTok, and I use TikTok for fun. So there is a trend out here. Have you heard the word upcycled men?
I don't have TikTok, so I probably don't even know, right?
These right now, like some girls are saying they just want upcycled men. That these men, they've gone through it, they know what they want and they know what they don't want. If they come to you and you're what they want, they go for it and they tell you up front, I don't want this, I can't deal with this is not what I'm going to take because I've dealt with that already. And I met this girl online and she was like, this relationship that she is in right now with a divorcee is one of her best relationships because they're
Oh,
not figuring it out. We just know what we want. We work through it. I'm not coming to this relationship to try to, if it doesn't work, I leave. No, I'm getting into a relationship because I know I'm going to make it work. Like that was very interesting when I saw that. I was like, wow, people have different schools of thought and things are really changing. Back in the day, they'll be like, oh, that guy is a divorcee. That woman is a divorcee.
oh yeah.
That it was like a stigma that people had on them. But this time around, girls are out there looking for divorcee men.
You cannot even say back in the day, even today, right? If you go and you listen to dating shows, you see all of these shows that they do singles, like how did it hook up shows?
Hmm.
If you listen to them, people give conditions, and somebody will say, "Hey, will you get married to a person that is a divorcee?" The same way they used to, you get married to a person that has children. So it's not even something like in the back in the days. It's very active, and you see that these people have been tagged already. This class of people have like a tag in front of their head as they go around, like, you know what, hey, do you like me? I want you to know I am a divorcee. Or hey, I want you to know I am a single parent, right? And they kind of like push again, nothing personal. I am a single parent, but I don't want to take this person. But at the same time, they kind of make you feel like because you are a single parent or because you are a divorcee, you are kind of second class. You get it? I've heard that a lot on dating shows, like a ton. And sometimes it irritates me. Sometimes I'm just like, you know what? People have a right to their opinions and their choices.
Yeah, not to water down what you've just mentioned, but then I feel like everything in life, when it doesn't fit, people walk around with checklist. When it doesn't fit your checklist, it is second class. So I know people are out here. Hey, do you have, like somebody asked me, do you have a checklist? I'm like, what is a checklist? Right? So there are so many things. If something doesn't fit into my school of thought, like what I want, what I'm looking for, I'm like, nah, that is second class. But guess what? That's another person. That's what another person is out there searching for to find.
Yeah, but that's what I would rather say. Hey, do you have like deal breakers, right? There are certain things that you cannot do. Like I'll ask you if you have deal breakers. I bet one of your deal breakers is I know that the person needs to smell nice. I know that you care about smell and shoes. right? Those are things that I know. So if I were to meet a guy that tells me that, oh, Solange, is your younger sister married? And I'm like, no, my younger sister is not married. And I walk around, the person hugs me and I smell and they don't smell good. Or I look at their shoes and their shoes are funny. I already know for sure that don't even approach her, right? It's not something that she likes.
No, I'm just, why are you telling my story on the social media?
I'm just saying that I know some of your deal breakers. That's
And
just
that
what
was
I'm
years ago. So, but most people wear good shoes now, and everybody tries to smell nice. So, like, disregard what Solange said. That is just take that out.
But it's true. I'm sure that anybody that knows you can attest to this. Let's take a few comments. I see Zamani Fritz says, I really believe age is just a number. So you see that most of the people that are commenting here are actually going more towards that. I see Julian says, I'm open-minded. Age is just a number. Sapiosexual, I find intelligence sexy and attractive. So that is, you see, again, this is one person who probably doesn't even care. Like, just sapiosexual is these are very selective people.
This
Julian,
sapiosexuals. The intelligence is very sexy. I attest to that.
yes.
Intelligent person. Mm.
Yep, that's true. Intelligence is sexy, that is true. But sometimes when you get to these people that are very intelligent, they make you feel like you're dumb. It just depends on their relationship.
All two different scenarios right now. There is intelligence. So intelligence can mean different things to different people. I'm not talking about book smart.
Book smart, but intelligence. Yeah. She says I find intelligence sexy. So she did not say like book smart.
Yeah. I know when we talk about intelligence, people just go drink
book.
What's book? But intelligence to handle and interact with people, build relationship with people, that is the kind of intelligence that I am talking about in this scenario. I'm what our viewer was talking about. So did you read all the comments?
No, so a few more comments. I see Michaeline says what really matters most is love and understanding, which of course, yes. That's again, the age gap doesn't matter. And thank you, Uncle Gaby, for joining. It's always a pleasure having you. And we have Uncle Gaby's comment who says, yeah, I do think experience, especially with marriage, comes with age, right? Getting married at a very young age puts the relationship at a very vulnerable position. And if there is no patience on either side of the aisle, there is a high potential for all kinds of issues. Marriage is a very serious thing and should not be taken lightly. Oh God, you will come with the big, you come and you talk like the big brother that you are. Of course.
Always true. You always.
Yes, and thank you, Auntie V, for watching. Auntie Lum is watching with us. Thank you so much for your support, Auntie Lum, our auntie. So yes, Uncle Gaby, I do agree. Do you want to comment on Uncle Gaby's comment? I'll definitely would like to say something on that.
Yes, I want to comment on this comment because marriage for me is a very serious thing. Maybe that's why I'm still single, because I don't think, maybe I overthink about it because it's about sharing space. Like sometimes I can't survive with you, my sister, in the same space for a week. Think about somebody that is not your family member. You've just met for a year. You've not lived together. Then you just say, I want to get married to this person, and they say yes. There are certain questions I believe that must be asked before you get into such a relation, like such a commitment. It's a commitment that you sign to settle in without going through it. It's like taking an exam before the preparation of it. So it's so serious that I don't know how people do it. Meet somebody for 2 months and they get married. Look, I like courage on you doing that. But for me, I know it's a serious thing. Even though you don't have to overthink it, but there are still certain things that you must know and be ready to be like, hey, I'm getting married to this person. We're talking about marriage here. I'm getting married to this person, and I know there will be challenges, and I'm ready to walk through those challenges. That's the kind of mindset that you want to have, and not just by yourself. That person has to have that mind. They have to have the same mindset, so you guys can walk through your challenges together. So I take it serious.
Yeah, and that is a comment that he just follows up with a comment. That's what I was going to say. I was actually going to talk towards what he has just mentioned again. And he says that you should overthink about it. It's okay to overthink it. It's not an easy commitment. That's the truth about it. It scares me personally because I'm one person that if I know that going into it is going to break, I would rather not go into it, right? Some people go and they do a truth or dare, they do a try and error for them, and maybe that works for them, but that is not how I personally see marriage. Nothing close. And he says you're doing the right thing. Think about it. Okay, we'd rather be married and miserable, right? You get it,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that is just the truth. I would rather be single for real because it's true that we go around with a tag of single. Hey, that guy never get married. That is fine. Instead of being miserable, right? I would rather have somebody describe me as that girl who never yet married than to be married and not happy. So again, it's just individual choices. It's what is important to you. It's what you can stand. It's what you can deal with at that moment. So thank you so much, and for your opinion on this. I think it was actually gearing towards my thoughts. So you actually said what I wanted to say in your second comment. And as you see comments.
I see them, but I don't know. They're just popping and out. And
Okay, so Zamani has a comment. Oh, Zamani just said, did she just say she's single? Please, what do you want for Valentine's? Let's start somewhere. Zamani Fritz.
yeah,
Yes, Zamani. To the best of my knowledge, she.
yeah.
Okay, let me not say. She said I was saying too much of her things online.
No,
So
I was going towards you. I don't know. You didn't say I was single, so
yeah, so again, and the next comment from Kobe said, time is the ultimate referee. No matter how much of a cat you are, you can only hide your shit for so long. Just wait and time will show you who he or she is. And that is my philosophy in life. So, um, maybe you remember this. You know the different kinds of prayers, right? When they say people pray, like a woman's prayer changes, or a woman or a man's prayer
oh,
changes when they get to a certain
oh,
age. Do you know what that is?
yeah, yeah. There is a joke. There is a
That
prayer.
is
I remember the last one because I talk about this with my girlfriends, and like when girls get to a certain age, maybe in their 30s and late 30s, they start saying,
that is too
"But
young.
me anyone, I will take it."
Okay, so okay, yeah, because I was trying to think. There are some words that you use that yes, anyone I will deal with it, and this again has to do with all that societal pressure. That's because marriage these days has become a trend, right?
Yeah,
Marriage is no longer. It doesn't. I would say that marriage is no longer a vocation as we grew up knowing, as we grew up understanding, because choosing the path of marriage is a vocation, right? But today we see that it is more of a trend. People just want to go out and wear those huge white gowns and take Insta ready pictures and put them out there. And while indoors, it's not what you really wished for yourself, right? But you want to satisfy the society. And so that's why again, this is all tying down, this is all tying out to what Uncle Gabi said. Just wait and time will show you who he or she is.
yeah,
So I am in agreement with the fact that I can be single for life, as well as I am in agreement with the fact that I can meet my soulmate someday.
yeah,
So to me personally, that's how I look at life. I just let time work it out.
yeah.
Michaeline says they call it all man. What's that again?
All man, na man.
Okay, at that age, all man a man. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
At that age, you don't have a checklist anymore, right? All man a man. I just want a man. Right? You don't even care about age gap at this time. So we've gotten to those threshold ages, which most of the time is in the late 30s. I think that the 30s, early 30s is still good enough time. It's when you start hitting the late 30s that people, they will play with things like that to you and say that, hey, oh man, man. When I see any girl sweating at 30 or 32, 33, that they are not married, I always just feel like, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? Right? But people are different. People have different priorities in life. Different things are important to different people.
yeah. And I just want to say this because I know society, and I know the way people think, and I know people, and which I don't really care, but I know people watch people like you and I who are not married, and we're talking about marriage, and they're like, "Oh, you guys don't get it. You're not even married." Marriage is a beautiful thing. Like we that's not what we're
I've
saying.
heard that a million
That-
times.
That's not what we're hey, marriage is a beautiful thing because I have my parents and my happily they're hitting 50 next
50 next year. There will be 50 years in marriage.
50 years. So I believe that, and it came out with so many good things came from that marriage. Like a lot of good things came out from our home that we appreciate today. Look at us today. I think it's because they were ready to fight through their challenges. So it is a beautiful thing. But what we're saying, just as they have their age mates who are not still married today,
Oh, yeah, of course.
our aunties and our uncles that
Never got married at all. They are not even divorcees. They never got married.
they never got married. Some just left the house like, I cannot deal with this, and they left, and because their lives were even in danger. So we are saying it's a beautiful thing. We know it, but you don't have to watch pictures and decide on what is going to make you like take a decision that's going to affect you the rest of your life. That's not.
Yeah.
Think about it. Ask certain questions. Ensure that you're getting each very important that this is big for me. Somebody who is ready to work through those challenges with you, not somebody will just run away the same day when the lights go off and you're like, oh, it's not
They're gone.
done, we're gone. So ask these questions and you see the signals. Those red flags are there. When they come, you want to question them and ensure that you ask it. I'm talking to my single girls right now, my single ladies, my single men, because men are also struggling.
Oh, yeah.
Men are also struggling. So I'm talking to my single people
Single people.
and our crew, right? That ask the questions and ensure that you're getting to the right relationship.
Yeah, and our Ancillum says it. I will always advise each and everyone to take his or her time. Take your own time before you get married, right? And the whole idea is, so Sandrine, topic never changed. Topic never changed. Maybe the face topic never changed. The whole idea is when you're thinking of marriage, like what is that age gap, right? We started by talking about age gaps, and while talking about age gap, we've kind of incorporated the whole idea of marriage because yes, there is also a time. Remember that age gap is timing, and marriage is also timing plays a lot, puts a lot of pressure on people when we're talking about marriage in general and time socially. Yeah, so that's the whole idea.
So go out there. If you see a man or a woman that you like, if you like them, go for them. Like, don't let society pressure you into an age gap that onto this age gap thing. Like, go out there, have fun, make your own preferences, and go for it.
Yeah. So, if they are younger and you think that they are cool, you want to be their mommy, if that's what works for you, go for it. If that's what makes you happy, go for it. If they are older and that is just fine. So we are all settling with the fact that age is truly just a number. And while age is a number, as an individual, you still have a right to make your choices, right? And we always come strong with the fact that do not let society determine your choices. Make your choices based on you. Sit and have your you moment. Think about what you want, what makes you happy, right? If there are women out there who are more geared towards kids than even men, there are women out there. I have friends like that. If that is what works for you, go for it, right? Because the truth is, this world is we don't know how much longer we have. So you want to target the things that make you happy and do not let society, that is my biggest cry. Do not let social media, do not let the things you come in here and sit and listen to and watch. Let these things not be, they can guide you, but let them not be the reason you make a choice in life. Let your choice be the things that make you happy, the things that satisfy your inner desire, because after everything, this is about you as an individual.
Can you take Michaeline's comment, please?
So Michaeline's comment, at times, some people don't get married early because family might be responsible and have a lot to do, and because they feel that once they get married, it will be a problem to their family because they are like the fathers in the family. That is true, but that is culturally very correct. You get it right. You'll see a young man that will not get married that probably has found his soulmate, but he's not ready because, again, growing up, we all saw that it was common for, like, you get married to a woman and all of it's like you're inheriting that woman's family, right? You, especially if you're someone that is slightly well-to-do than everyone else, you inherit the family. You take care of your wife, your in-laws, and everything. Everybody becomes your responsibility. So there are some people that will not want to venture into marriage because they are the heads of their families, and they know that if they do this, they might get distracted and they will not be able to do what they have to do for their family. So that is true. I think that is a very real situation that Michaeline mentioned there. It's very real and very common. Thank you so much, Nuela Goa, for joining. We appreciate you. And Zamani says, when you say ish is time, and how exactly do you mean? Do you understand that question? Did I say that? Sometimes I talk too much.
That when you say age is timing, how, like, it's just like, I think you're trying to say age is a number. Like, you shouldn't focus on the fact that you get into relationship based on the age of the person. Yeah. Uncle KB says, so what if you get married to somebody 25 or 20 or 25 gets married to somebody at 70? Does this person have
that is too much? The next person, Noella Goa, just responded with a comment. I guess that age gap that is too much now.
My question was, does this man or woman has a private jet? Huh?
That is, that's the kind of marriage you say marriage on mission, right? You're on a mission, for real. I would say that kind of a marriage, you're on a mission. Yeah, I think that is, again, I would not be surprised if I saw that. I think I've seen, sometimes you don't believe everything you see on social media, but I think I've seen things like that on social media. With really,
you can actually fall in love with somebody that is that old, but it doesn't mean that you should not get married to them. But I think it's just okay to fall in love with people. Like, there's some 70-year-old men out here. Like, you can say, like, that's
you cannot be nodding your head. I would go with Nuella. That sometimes I'm going to go with Nuella Goa, who says the age gap can be too much sometimes. Sometimes it's just too much. I don't feel like the truth.
Okay. Juliet said, thanks, Auntie B, for joining. She says, the moment anyone starts letting society to define their decisions and judge them, that will hinder them from attending their potential.
That's a fact. That's a fact. The truth is, we say it every day, but we still see it every day.
But it's hard. I struggle with that sometimes. It's hard. It's consistent.
Yeah, it's hard. Take the next comment. I see it. Thank you so much for joining, NCB, and thank you, Nicolinde, for joining as well.
Yeah, Nicolinde. People really have their preferences. I see girls of 24 getting married to 62-year-old men because they believe these men have a lot to offer than younger men. You know, I always like to have two sides in everything. That's me. Yes, that can be a huge age gap. But then what if this 62-year-old man is a man that will relieve your family from some poverty? And what if that's the only solution?
Guys, that is getting married in a mission now. That is mission marriage. That is not, anyway, again, it's not in my place to tell about how anybody feels, right? They could actually be genuinely in love, right? Again, it's not, again, I take my comment back. It could actually be genuine, but the truth is that it raises eyebrows sometimes.
Tell you, like, I know this is a topic that we'll have to talk about next week. We're getting very close to time.
And money and peace of mind, guaranteed.
Yeah, money and peace of mind is good. It is really good. Then the way older men walk up to women is really different from what these young boys are doing right out here. Most women want to be every woman wants to be nurtured. Generally, every human being wants to be nurtured, pampered, seen. Like, hey, he sees me, he cares, appreciated, and walk up to you and talk to you, not slide into your DMs and saying how far. Like, those messages just piss me off. Like, how far?
That is a topic for another show.
What I'm trying to say is older men come up with these traditional wooing methods that's very attractive to young women. So sometimes that's why you find young girls falling in love with older women, because they bring
older men
on. They know how to do it and they love it. So that's my take on it.
Okay. Definitely. One of your Valentine's Day topics will definitely be how the difference, like how different men approach, right? So
Yeah,
we'll get to that again. We are hitting 45 minutes, which is generally our target time for the show. And we definitely appreciate each and every one of you who
yeah,
has joined the show today. And please do not forget to hit that share button so that we can reach a wider audience. We definitely appreciate you. So it's safe to say that Hollywood actress, I would definitely say that Zamani Fritz. I would definitely say that yeah, most of the times it's marriage on a mission. They're on a mission. I wouldn't lie to you. I
well,
believe that sometimes it's just
I always have,
mission marriage.
nope, it must not always be a mission.
Sometimes it's a mission.
So, like, we just want to thank everybody for joining. Thank you, Uncle Kenny, Nicolene, Auntie B, Sandrine, Michaeline.
Fritz Noella,
Thank you
everyone.
very much for joining, and every other person. We appreciate your support. This
Oh,
year,
Auntie B calls it partnership. Yes, it is partnership.
thanks
That
God.
is true. I love partnerships. I could go into a partnership and never get married. I think I can do that. I love those, especially when it is that kind of 62-year-old man, that kind, right?
Mm,
Not any kind of 60.
and we have to close this show. We
Thank
have,
you so much, Dominic, for joining. We
yeah,
appreciate you.
I'll take Dominic's comments. Then we close the show.
Yes, sure. Again, Dominic, it was a pleasure having you. Thanks, Dominic. I see your comments. I think relationships work best when both partners can survive independently without each other. Then it doesn't create resentment from one thinking he or she does more than the other, and the other is giving less. Relationship or marriage is equal, right? I would say yes. I think that there are a ton of different things that can create resentment
Mhm.
in relationships in couple, and again, of course, being able to take care of oneself as an individual before we come together as a couple or as partners to do stuff. I think that it helps take away some of those unnecessary friction. Yeah. Yeah. And again, thanks, Fritz. Your first time to join the show, you are welcome. We hope to see you. We do this every Sunday at 3 p.m. Central Time. We hope to see you again next time when we talk about other topics. And again, remember, feel free to send different topics to us. You can send it either to Ice or to myself, and different things that you'll love for us to talk about. And we'll be right here just discussing with you, getting your opinions and giving our own perspectives, because what is the goal here? We just want to be able to share our opinions, share our perspectives with the goal of motivating, inspiring you, and somehow educating ourselves, right? Learning from you. And again, you being able to pick up a lesson or two from us. We appreciate you and we thank you so much for spending the time with us. Closing remarks, Ice, please.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. As I always say, we don't take your time, your like, your loves, and the stars for granted. We thank you for always joining the show. This is the chocolate month is coming up. So most of the topics that I'll be talking about from now on to Valentine's Day will be about relationship, love, and so anything you feel like you want us to talk about, bring it out, and we're going to talk about it. Thank you. Have a wonderful week ahead, and God bless you.
See, until says make una make and go married, make them can't give me money. When I forget that thing say age. Until noted, okay, noted. And again, thanks Zamani. Still waiting on her answer on what she wants for Valentine. Zamani, we are both hers. You better not be asking for mine because you go shock. I hope that it's Isis, not mine. You do not specify.
Yeah,
We are
thank
both hers.
you.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Sunday. Stay blessed. Bye bye.